What's up, everybody? I got a quick question for you. Have you ever wondered what life is actually like in Melbourne, Florida? Here's a spoiler. It's not just beaches and rockets, though those are awesome too. I'm talking affordable housing, tech jobs, wild wildlife, and also hurricane prep. So let's take a dive in. First off, Melbourne won't blow your budget. In fact, living here is actually a bit cheaper than the US national average. And compared to other Florida coastal cities, it's definitely a steal. Let me go ahead and break it down for you real quick. So, if you're renting, a one bedroom goes for about $1,500 a month. And even bigger places like 3 bedrooms hover around $2,100 a month. And when it comes to home buyers, you're looking at a median price between $310,000 and $360,000, which is still below the national median. That means your typical basket of living costs, rent, food, utilities, is slightly below the national norm. So yeah, when your AC is blasting in the summer, your power bill can hit nearly $200 a month, then drop below $100 in the winter. You're gonna wanna add $70 to $80 for water and sewer, plus $99 for internet. That's a fair chunk, but again, it's not crazy. Bottom line, if you assume Florida equals mega expensive, Melbourne might just surprise you. The rents here are slightly below the average, home prices in the low 300,000s, utility costs that match US norms, and all of it backed by sunshine, which is 234 days a year. That's a pretty nice setup if you ask me. And listen, if you want to explore those options and see how moving to Melbourne could help your budget compared to where you currently live now, click the link in the description below to book a call. Me and my team can help you take that next step. All right, let's talk about this Florida weather because it's kind of a big deal here. If you're tired of gloomy skies, Melbourne's sunshine might just save your soul. To put it in perspective, this place averages about 234 sunny days a year. That's about 2/3 of the year with clear skies or at least some sun. Listen, it's the kind of weather that makes you want to do things outside, whether it's kayaking in the Indian River Lagoon, paddleboarding with dolphins, or just grilling in your backyard. Melbourne totally invites you outdoors. You've got over 150 miles of paddling trails along the Indian River Lagoon, and it's teeming with manatees, dolphins, and more than 4,000 species of plants and animals. And hey, beach lovers, you're in luck. The whole Barrier Island coastline east of Melbourne is loaded with beautiful beaches. You've got surf breaks at Spessart Holland and Paradise Beach, mellow family spots like Canova Beach Park, and even off-leash dog beaches if you got a furry friend. Here's the honest truth. Summers here are very brutal, just like all of Florida. We're talking 90+ degrees, high humidity, and you walk outside feeling like you're inside soup. You'll want solid AC, blackout curtains, and maybe a second shirt. And the bugs? They're here to stay, man. Mosquitoes especially. You'll see people out here with citronella torches and screened in lanais like it's a survival strategy. Hell, I'm in a lanai right now. Brevard County does have a mosquito control program that sprays during the summer months. It helps, but yeah, you'll probably still get bitten once or twice, or maybe 12 times. So if you're someone who lives for sunshine, loves water sports, and can handle the occasional bug battle, you'll definitely thrive here. Just know, flip-flops and sunscreen become a part of your personality real quick. All right, let's talk about something you have to be ready for when you're moving to Melbourne, and that's hurricane season. It runs from June through November, and while Melbourne isn't ground zero for every big storm, it's far from immune. In fact, it sits on the east coast of Florida, just far enough from the Atlantic to avoid the absolute worst, but also is close enough to feel the real impact. For example, Hurricane Francis in 2004, that one rolled through the Atlantic as a Category 4, but made landfall near as a Category 2, still packing major wind and rain. So yeah, storm shutters, sandbags, bottled water, backup batteries, and flood insurance, they're not optional. These are Florida starter pack items. And here's the good news. Melbourne rarely gets direct hits like the Gulf Coast or the Keys, and local emergency services are really prepared. Plus, Brevard County has a full disaster preparedness plan, and they also have a shelter network ready to go. Although we rarely get hit, we don't take hurricanes lightly here, unless you're the occasional Florida man that likes to grill, party, and drink it up until the hurricane gets here. Now, let's talk about your new neighbors, the scaly, slithery kind. Living in Florida, especially in a place like Melbourne, with all these canals, lakes, and preserves, this most likely means you're gonna see some wildlife. Alligators? Yes. Snakes? Oh yeah. Palmetto bugs? Unfortunately, yes. But listen, don't freak out. They're just part of the ecosystem here. Gators usually want nothing to do with you, unless you leave food outside or try to wrestle one for TikTok. And I don't advise you to do that. And palmetto bugs? Yeah, they're like Florida version of roaches, but with a pilot's license. A solid pest control plan keeps them in check. And to be quite honest, you kind of get used to it anyway. Think of it like living in the mountains and seeing a deer, or in the desert spotting a coyote. You get immune to it, and here's some wildlife tips for those who are not aware of what's going on here in Florida. Number 1, don't feed the alligators. Keep pet food and trash sealed. And monthly pest control can give you peace of mind. Trust me. And if you're into nature, it's a bonus. We've got manatees, sea turtles, wild birds, and armadillos just hanging out like it's no big deal. Bottom line, hurricanes and wildlife are a part of Florida life, but Melbourne locals are used to it. It's all about being prepared, respecting nature, and keeping a sense of humor. Okay, so let's talk about jobs, because let's be real, paradise ain't cheap unless you got a paycheck coming in. And when it comes to Melbourne's job market, way more high tech than you'd expect from a beach town. I didn't mean to rhyme on that either. We're talking L3 Harris, their global headquarters is right here in Melbourne, plus Northrop Grumman, Collins Aerospace, and even in Brevard. They're a jet manufacturer. Why so much tech in aerospace? You can thank your next door neighbor, Cape Canaveral. And here's the kicker. Florida has no state income tax, so that means more of your paycheck actually hits your bank account. But we've got a 6% sales tax, which is standard for the state, but still, no state income tax, right? So I guess that's a win. Now, let's talk education and career pipelines. Melbourne is home to Florida Institute of Technology, aka FIT, Go Panthers. For those of you who don't know about this school, it's kind of like a local MIT. It's got killer programs in aerospace, engineering, cybersecurity, and marine biology. You've also got Eastern Florida State College. We used to call it BCC back in the day. And then you also have the University of Central Florida just over in Orlando. So if you're just starting out or thinking about retraining, tons of opportunity to make your skills better. So yeah, Melbourne's not just surfboards and rocket launches. It's a low-key tech hub with sunshine, salaries, and schools to match. That's kind of crazy, right? You know what's also crazy? If you're ready to take that next step, just simply book a call with the link in the description below. Me and my team will help you find that place to call home. So treat yourself. Don't cheat yourself. All right, diving into schools and healthcare. 2 big topics if you've got a family or planning ahead. First up, the K-12 schools. Melbourne is in Brevard County public schools, which the state graded A for 2 straight years as of July of 2025, meaning over 2/3 of the schools are A or B rated. You've got 75 preschools, 55 elementary schools, 39 middle schools, and 34 high schools. And at the high school level, you have West Shore Junior Senior High. This place is ranked number 1 in Brevard and in the top 1% statewide. Then you also have Edgewood Junior Senior High. This is also a top tier school ranking 6th in Florida and 57th nationally. These are big wins for Brevard. Now on the private side, you have Holy Trinity Episcopal Academy. This is a popular pre-K through 12 college prep choice with nearly 1,000 students. Now the healthcare scene. The main player is Holmes Regional Medical Center, a 550-bed hospital operated by Health First. It's the only state-designated Level 2 trauma center in Brevard County. And yes, that includes pediatric, adult trauma, and neonatal ICU. Plus, they've got 24/7 trauma care, an air ambulance called First Flight, and advanced services like robotic surgery and primary stroke centers. In short, if there's an emergency, serious car accident, stroke, or neonatal complication, you're covered here in Melbourne. No long drives needed. So yeah, Brevard schools are solid with some top-ranked public schools and private options. And on the medical front, Holmes Regional is the go-to hospital for trauma and specialty care. Now, Melbourne's not a wild party town like Miami, but don't get it twisted. It's packed with character. Check this out, the O'Galley Art District, or EGAD. This is basically like an open-air art museum with over 30 murals. They also have gallery shops, cafes, and vintage boutiques. You can either explore at your own pace or join a guided tour on the 3rd Thursday of each month from the library. And just around the corner is the historic Rosetta House, mid-1800s vibes, preserved in a garden setting. It's legit listed on the National Register of Historic Places. And if you need nature, Wickham Park is where it's at. 391 acres of trails, lakes, disc golf, campgrounds, dog parks, archery ranges, volleyball courts, equestrian paths, you name it. That was a mouthful. They also host big events here like India Fest, Oktoberfest, Renaissance fairs. You'll find something happening most weekends. Or for a more mellow outdoor fix, there's Nixon Park, a nearly 54-acre nature preserve with a 3,000-foot raised boardwalk through a hammock forest. You'll spot gopher tortoises, indigo snakes, and you'll also hear live music during the semi-annual moonlight stroll. This is a nature lover's dream. So yeah, lifestyle here equals vibrant arts, historic charm, outdoor variety, festivals galore, all with a chill hometown vibe. And who wouldn't want that? Okay, now let's talk about what really matters if you got a family or planning to have one. Melbourne's a legit place that's great for raising kids. Reddit parents say it's peaceful, low on tourist traffic, school quality is decent, and the nightlife's chill. Not too wild, but not zero either. So it's friendly for families. But what about the data? The population in Melbourne is around 87,000 as of mid-2024. The median age range is 42 to 42 and a half years old, and the median household income is roughly $64,000 to $68,000. And also, 36% of the homes have children under the age of 18. When it comes to education, 33% holds a bachelor's degree. So these numbers, they scream moderate, stable, family town. Enough families to feel like a community, but not packed or chaotic. To kind of double back, Brevard County schools get solid marks, and neighborhood reports show crime is relatively low, with house-proud locals and frequent safety patrols. NIST ranks several Brevard areas high for families like West Melbourne, Melbourne Beach, plus parks, schools, and quiet streets. You've got parks everywhere. Wickham Park has disc golf, splash pads, trails, and also if you're ready to take your kids to the zoo, Brevard Zoo is just a short drive away. You can kayak with giraffes, train rides through the wetlands. It's very unique and low-key slept on if you ask me. Melbourne's vibe is that sweet spot. Social, but not noisy. And if you want a beer or a friendly coffee shop, you got that too. But you won't be dealing with overcrowded bars or rowdy tourists 24/7. Bottom line, excellent park access, nice schools, laid-back nights, and that neighborhood feel. Your kids can ride their bikes to a friend's house. You can grab a coffee without a 10-minute wait. That's the kind of family life Melbourne delivers. So treat yourself, don't cheat yourself. Sunny skies, affordable living, tech jobs, chill beach town, and some hurricanes and gators thrown in. Sounds like a Florida dream or a reality check. Let's break that down real quick. So the pros of living in Melbourne. You have affordable housing and living costs, as Melbourne's median home prices sits around $348,000, which is below the national median and much lower than South Florida's hotspots like Miami or Fort Lauderdale. Then you have job opportunities in tech and aerospace with major employers like L3 Harris, Northrop Grumman, and close ties to NASA. Melbourne's economy is tech forward. Then you have sunshine for days, literally. The city boasts 234 sunny days a year, and winters are fairly mild, so no snow ever. And if it does snow here in Florida, that means the world is ending. Then you also have no state income tax. To add to that, Florida's lack of state income tax is a big win for working professionals and retirees alike. Also, it's a family-friendly environment. We have great public schools, clean neighborhoods, and a slower pace make Melbourne a favorite for families. And we also have parks, nature, and coastal access, with gyms like Wickham Park and Nixon Park, which I mentioned before. And we also have miles of uncrowded beaches. There's always a reason to get outside. Now, I can't tell you the good without the bad. So here's a few cons with living in Melbourne. First being hurricane risk, as that's a risk for most of all of Florida. Located on Florida's East Coast, Melbourne is no stranger to tropical storms. We just had one yesterday. Especially between the months of June and November, prep is key. Another con would be humidity and insects. Speaking of humidity, let me wipe my forehead, it's hot. And let's get real, it's very humid here. Think 90% humidity. Mosquitoes and palmetto bugs come with the territory, so just be ready for it. And then there's also wildlife encounters, which every state deals with it. You'll see gators, snakes, and maybe a bobcat if you live near nature preserves, or even lakes. Not dangerous, but definitely Florida. And if you leave them alone, they'll leave you alone. Also, another con would be limited nightlife. While downtown Melbourne and O'Galley Arts District have restaurants and bars, please don't expect the Miami-style clubbing. It's definitely more chill than wild. So, here's the bottom line. Melbourne gives you that coastal Florida lifestyle without the chaos or cost of big metro areas. It's got weather, a booming tech scene, family vibes, and all the nature you could ask for. But if you're craving all-night parties, bug-free evenings, or storm-free skies, this might not be your perfect match. I don't know if any place will be your perfect match. Still, for a lot of people, it's just the right balance here. All right, friends, did I cover what you wonder about living here? Drop your questions in the comments below. Gotta love some Gator stories, so bring those too. And if you're liking this video, don't be afraid to hit subscribe for more Florida deep dives. And hey, share it with someone that's daydreaming about life on the Space Coast. And for those who don't know, I'm Stephen Thomas the Realtor, your Space Coast Realtor. I'll see you in the next video.